Okay, so this is multiplication and division stories. Now, the big thing that we're going to talk about first is just what is division. And when we're reading a story, how can we tell if it's asking us to do division? So if we are looking at a story and it's talking about division, we will be able to tell, because the biggest thing with division is that it starts with the total. It gives you the total first. It gives you the giant big number. And then once you have the total, you need to put them in groups. So if I were to say, I have a total of 72 flowers, how many flowers can I put in 9 vases? That's a division. That's a division sentence. That's a division story. I've given you the total. I've given you one part of the group. I have a total of 72 flowers. And you'll even see language like that. Total. Or has 72. And I want to put 9 flowers in each vase. How many vases do I have? So basically, it's giving you something like this, like 72 divided by 9 equals blank, and you got to figure out the blank. That's all it's asking you to do. But because it is a story, we're not given this. This is not going to be on the paper anywhere for us to see. So this is when we use our reading comprehension skills to figure out, and then we write this out ourselves. That's where we can get caught. That's where we can get tricked. So then we've got multiplication. And how we can tell it's a multiplication story is basically the opposite of division. Multiplication gives you the groups and you need to find the total. If I have 5 friends and I want to give each one of them 6 cookies, how many cookies do I need to make? So those stories that I'm giving as an examples are actually way simpler than you'll see in some of your problems. But that's the kind of thing. So when you're reading through a story, you're looking for, was I just given the total or was I given the groups? That's what you're looking to find. So let's look at our first story, and we're going to decide if we need to multiply or if we need to divide. So it says, each canoe holds 4 people. How many people can sit in 14 canoes? So am I going to have to multiply or divide? Have I been given the total or have I been given the groups? So I already know that each canoe holds 4 people. So that's one part of a group. How many people can sit in 14 canoes? Is 14 my total amount? What's my question asking me to find? Am I finding canoes or am I finding people? People. How many people is my question? So that's my total number that I'm trying to find. Meaning that this is a multiplication story. So what am I doing to solve? 14 times 4. Okay. So if I'm doing 14 times 4, I'm just setting myself up with some regular old multiplication. 4 times 4 is 16, carry my 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So a total of 56 people can sit in 14 canoes. Make sense? Cool. Okay, so let's go on to another story. What about how many canoes will be needed for 36 people? What is my total amount? 36. Because I'm still focusing on the people. But now it's asking how many canoes. Well, I know that I have a total. I've got 36 in all. And I know part of my group that each canoe can hold 4 people. So if I have a total of 36 people and 4 people can fit in each canoe, what am I finding? 36 divided by 4. So I write my 36, make my division sign, and I put my 4 in. And then I start my long division. 4 can go into 3? No. So I leave that blank. 4 into 36. Okay, so what is close to? 9. Yeah. 9 times 4? 36. So I'm not even going to continue this because it's even. Now I could, if I needed that confirmation that I did get this correct, 9 times 4 is 36, and 36 minus 36 is 0. You can do that if that helps you. But if you know that it's going to go in evenly, you don't need to do this part. Okay? Now, sometimes, we talked about this before, when we have remainders, that can change our answer. Sometimes the remainder is very important. Sometimes the remainder is not at all important. So let's look at this. It says, Ben has $55 to buy helium balloons for the end of summer camp party. The balloons cost $9 per bunch. Okay. Is this a division or multiplication story? What is it? Division. How do I know it's division? I'm given a total. He has $55. There's no word that says each. There's nothing that says Ben has $55 for each thing to buy. It just says he's got $55. And then I was given one group. Balloons cost $9 per bunch. So it's pretty much asking me to do 55 divided by 9. Because my next question is, how many bunches of balloons can Ben buy? So if I'm doing 55 divided by 9, what's close? 55 divided by 9 can be 6. 6 times 9 is 54. So that leaves me a remainder of 1. So if the question was, how many bunches of balloons can Ben buy? 6 remainder 1 is not the answer. And if this is what you did for the word problem, and if this is how you left it, guess what? It's incorrect. I'll probably take off half a point. Because you didn't actually answer the question. You did the work, but the question is, how many can he buy? 6. So then off to the side, I would go, 6, he can get 6 balloons. Or 6 bunches of balloons. Or he'll get 6 bunches of balloons. How much money will Ben have left? He'll have the 1 left. How much would be left over? There'd be 1. Does that make sense? So sometimes the remainder is important. Sometimes it's not. Whenever we're talking about those trips, the car trips, how many kids can be taken over in the soccer thing? Remember that word problem the other day from your Daily Common Core? Where her car can hold 5 kids, and there are 14 kids that need to be taken to the soccer game. How many trips does she have to make? Do you know what most of you did? You did this. You did 14 divided by 5, which is 2. And you did remainder 4, and then you stopped, and that was your answer. And so what I had to do then was mark it wrong, because nowhere is the correct answer shown. How many trips does she have to make? 3 trips. What, 4 kids don't get to to go to soccer because they don't fully fit in the car because there'll be one extra seat? No, can't do it that way. So that's when the remainder is incredibly important. And the only way you know that is by reading those word problems. And that's where the struggle is. So you've got to be really diligent about that, okay? So let's do 2 more together. Anne is making costumes for a play. Each costume requires 3 yards of fabric, okay? I need 3 yards of fabric for each costume. Have I been given a total number anywhere yet? No, I have not. How many yards of fabric are needed to make 12 costumes? Well, if each costume needs 3 yards and I want to make 12 costumes, what am I doing?
3 times 4.
I'm doing 12 times 3. Because I have not been given a total. So 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3. So she needs 36 yards. It just gave me my 2 groups. If Anne has 26 yards of fabric, how many costumes can she make? Okay, have I been given the total or have I been given groups? I've been given the total. She has 26 yards. How many costumes can she make? Well, what am I dividing? By 3. Why 3? Because each costume needs 3 yards of fabric. So if I have 26 in all, I'm going to divide by 3 to see how many costumes I can make. Is the remainder going to be important here? No, it is not. That's leftover fabric. That's scraps. If I can't make a costume out of it, it's not important. So 3 can go into 26 how many times? What's the closest it can get? 3 times 8 is what? Okay, so that gives me 2 left over. So close. I could, if I just had 1 more yard, I could have made another piece of costume, but oh well. So how many costumes can she make? 8. So off to the side, I would make sure to specify that I understand what part of my answer is the actual answer. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. So that's what you're going to be doing with this lesson. You're focusing on reading it carefully, deciding, ask yourself each time, have I been given the total or have I been given the groups? And go from there, okay?